Hi, internet. So I decided to do the live here. I usually do these on Instagram, but they delete, and then I get questions of I wanted to hear that again and all that jazz. So the great thing about YouTube lives is that they live here on the channel forever, and you can come back to them. So even if you can't watch right now, you can come back and watch it. So the reason I wanted to have this live is because I have a few things to update you all on just what's happening with me. If you're new to the Castaway Kitchen, I am a food blogger, chef, nutritional therapy student. I've reversed autoimmune disease. I've healed my body. I've lost over 60 pounds of body fat, gained a lot of muscle. It really just changed, like, a huge overhaul from like binge eater, definitely super sick and fatigue and overweight and just swollen with pain. And I had really unhealthy habits, that ranged from, like, in my 20s, a lot of binge drinking and junk food. So in the last 4 years, after I had my son, I found myself just really sick, like a young mom, but like no energy to do anything with my kid. And I was just miserable. I've struggled with being overweight most of my life. And I think that that really impacts the way that I work in the health and wellness arena, because it's not just about healing. Although I have a really strong emphasis on healing in all of my content, because I'm super against diet culture. I understand. I feel like the need and the want to figure this out, to be able to heal my body, but also lose weight in a healthy manner. And I've really gone up and down and forwards and backwards with the healing and the weight loss thing, because throughout my own healing journey, I've definitely self-sabotaged myself several times, where I'm doing really well and healing my body, and then I want to lose weight faster. So I eat less or do things that I think will help me lose weight, and then they kind of trip me up. They always backfire. So after making that mistake enough times, I've learned to stop doing it. And I've also learned to not always blame myself for weight loss stalls or even health stalls. And I feel that I've recently just unlocked that last piece of the puzzle when it comes to my own body. And because, as I mentioned, I've had a lot of success with weight loss, but it's been about 6 or 7 months since that I've been like super stalled. And while I'm gaining muscle, my body is not letting go of body fat anymore. It's been a while, and it's okay. Like, I learned to be like, I'm not going to eat less. I'm not going to work out harder. I'm not going to fast longer. I'm just riding out this wave, learning what I can about what's going on under the hood via blood work and functional medicine doctors and my conventional medicine doctor and my nutritional therapy colleagues, doing assessments to really find out what's happening. So to give you the abbreviated version of what has happened up till now, right? So I started keto. I started this blog, and then I did autoimmune protocol. I did Whole30s. I have hidradenitis suppurativa. It's a super inflammatory skin condition. I was able to put that in remission. So huge win, right? And you think I accomplished this thing, I'm done. But apparently it doesn't work that way. Like, just because you heal one thing doesn't mean everything else is healed. And I had that misconception for a long time. I'm like, oh, I'm good. I healed my gut. I reversed my autoimmune disease. Everything inside is happening the way it should. And I've learned that that's not the case, that there were still other imbalances going on. Because even though I think I healed my leaky gut, what I hadn't addressed yet was what was happening inside. So it's hard. And I understand that having access to certain types of doctors makes or breaks it. I was living in Hawaii up until June of last year, and I did not have a good doctor there. I tried 3 different doctors. No one could help me the way I needed to be helped and do the lab work that I needed done. So when I moved to the DC area, I'm in Alexandria, Virginia. One of the benefits of being in a city type place is that you get a lot more options. And I was actually recommended a great doctor. And so we did lab work, and something that no one else had found before was that my thyroid was off. So my TSH and my T4 were fine, but my T3 levels of my thyroid, my free T3 was low, my reverse T3 was high. And the reverse T3, your thyroid is your metabolism, essentially. It's the regulator of the hormones. And every cell in your body has like a thyroid receptor, like the T3 literally like goes into every cell in your body to like help fuel it. But reverse T3 blocks that. So if T3 is like, yay, metabolism, energy, T3 is like down regulating your metabolism, which is why a lot of people who have, I don't have Hashimoto's. It's not autoimmune related. It's stress related. But that is also why people with thyroid dysfunction often have crazy weight gain or have a hard time losing weight, because like the thyroid regulates your metabolism. So when I found this out, I'm like, well, how did I end up this way? Like I kind of had the suspicion that my thyroid was not so hot for a while, but you have to get your TSH, your T4, your T3, and reverse T3 panels done. And most conventional doctors won't test for all that. So this doctor thankfully did. And what she said, she's like, this imbalance is within normal ranges, but it's not optimal. And she wanted to prescribe me synthetic T3. And that's kind of like a Band-Aid though. So I said, well, do I have like your permission to go do my own research? Because from what I learned in just my studies and in school and my own research is that reverse T3 and high reverse T3, it's like T4 is fine and it's supposed to make T3, and then that is like the active form of the thyroid hormone that goes to your body, like through your body. But mine is going like this, like instead of T4 to T3, it's going reverse T3, like a weird, not a shortcut because it doesn't make anything happen. It's like a detour, like it's taking a detour, and it's stress related. And there's a number of reasons that can happen. One of the reasons that it tends to happen in women a lot is from yo-yo dieting, from extreme dieting. Like it's when your body is in a really stressful state. And obviously severe calorie restrictions can do that. And while I haven't done that in a really long time, in my youth and even before I started my blog and paleo, I did like Weight Watchers and all that stuff. And so I think that definitely plays into my body not doing so well. Another thing, I found that other stresses in your system, like liver dysfunction in the form of like fatty liver or just like not being able to detox, and small intestine bacterial overgrowth, any kind of gut dysbiosis is going to be a stressor on your system. So I reached out to my friend, Dr. Becky Campbell, who wrote the 30-Day Thyroid Reset. And I said, Becky, this is my problem. I've got high reverse T3, low T3. A lot of the symptoms play into that difficulty losing weight. Like it doesn't matter how healthy I eat, how much I work out, my body's kind of been in a stall for a while. I also, while I have high energy, sometimes I feel like it could be better. And in general, my biggest complaint, I guess, is that I have to eat and live in like a very strict way to feel healthy. Like, yes, I feel amazing all the time, but that is because I am like militant with my diet and lifestyle. There is not a lot of wiggle room, like not a lot. And I've come to terms with that. But the more research I do, the point is to get our bodies healthy enough where there is wiggle room. So that's where I want to get. I want to get to the wiggle room. So she's like, yeah, that makes sense. And she's like, I'm going to send you a SIBO test, which is like a breath test. And you like breathe into these little tubes, super weird. And a gut map check, which, yes, I had to poop in a bag. It was super gross. They have gloves. Ugh. Anyway, so they send it to a lab and they check. So I just got the results. It was like last week. I had a phone call, like an online phone consultation with Dr. Becky Campbell. And I tested positive for SIBO, the methane type. And I also tested positive for H. pylori, which is like a bad bug. You don't want that. It's like a bad bacteria. And a few other things, like my intestinal immune system is really elevated, meaning that like my gut's like fighting pathogens. And that explains my thyroid dysfunction. However, it goes back to the root cause of this is low stomach acid, which if you guys follow me, my newsletter or on Instagram, you know that through my studies in school, I read why stomach acid is good for you. And when I read that low stomach acid can cause H. pylori and SIBO and gut permeability, I was like, oh my gosh, that's me. Because I used to take Nexium and Prilosec and all the antacids in my 20s because I had acid reflux and GERD. And all the years of taking those medications, like they're proton inhibitors. So they literally like block your stomach acid production. And our stomach produces pure hydrochloric acid. like the stuff that in what was it, Breaking Bad, that they like put the bodies in the hydrochloric acid to like disintegrate. Our stomach produces that. Stomachs are supposed to be acidic. Mind blown, right? The important thing of having adequate amounts of stomach acid is that food breaks down properly. So you're not getting big chunks of food in your intestine, in your small intestine, right? Which can cause issues, nutrient absorption. And then, of course, bacteria, because just in the world, I mean, lots of things get into our mouth and it's on food. And when you drink cups of water, whatever, it's supposed to kill any bad bugs are supposed to die in that stomach acid. But so now just a little segue, which is really crazy. Before I had my labs done and had the results of my lab work, before I had the call with Dr. Becky Campbell, I had a functional evaluation done on my body through the Nutritional Therapy Association at the workshop, which is the school I'm going to. And I performed them on my peers, and my peers performed it on me. And the crazy thing is that all this stuff came up on my functional evaluation. And they did a lingual neural testing, which is where they like put a supplement in your mouth and then test for the point again of like weakness and see what helps. So I had started taking a dysbiocide, a dysbiosis supplement. I had started taking a probiotic, and I was taking hydrochloric acid in like pretty high amounts before I even talked to Dr. Becky Campbell. So we're on the phone and I'm telling her, everything you're telling me, I came up in my functional evaluation. So I've kind of since December been working toward remedying this situation. So more stomach acid, higher stomach acid to make sure that my food's digesting better. And that I've seen an overnight response. It initially, like just in the first few days of taking the supplement, it really helped me with being able to tolerate foods like ghee again. And then I was taking the dysbiocide, which of course is for dysbiosis. But Becky, of course, she's like, well, we need to go a little hardcore. You have a lot of stuff going on. So now I'm also taking ADP, which is emulsified oregano oil, and like a bunch of other things. And she sent me like a protocol. Plus I'm taking like crazy levels of specific strains of probiotics. So the plan here is to heal the guts, kill the bad bugs, repopulate the gut with healthy bacteria, and in the meantime also mend it. Take enough hydrochloric acid to make sure that what's going into my body isn't going to be feeding bad bacteria, that I'm digesting my food properly. And now this is the crazy thing. All of this was still going on, and I was telling her though, but I feel so good. And she's like, yeah, but you feel good because of your diet and lifestyle. She's like, but obviously which it's not like I'm going to change. I'm never going to stop eating this way. I love it. But I'm just excited to see what will happen. And of course, ideally, you're healing the dysbiosis. It'll stop causing stress on my thyroid. My T3 and my reverse T3 levels will balance out again, which means my T4 will convert to T3 instead of reverse T3, which will get my metabolism going again. And hopefully that'll be the kick in the butt that my metabolism needs to start burning fat again. Because I know that I'm like active and healthy, and I'm gaining muscle and I have energy, and my autoimmune disease is still in remission. But it's kind of exciting to figure out this last piece of the puzzle. And this kind of goes back to a lot of people in my health and wellness space. They don't like talking about their health issues. But just because we teach health and wellness doesn't mean that we have it all figured out for ourselves all the time. Some of the reasons why these things happen and still happen to me is that despite that my super healthy, active and lifestyle and diet, I wrote a cookbook, and I moved from Hawaii to Virginia pretty much at the same time. And my kids started kindergarten. Like, I don't know if you have kids, but it's really stressful when your baby's going to go to school for the first time. I was freaking out. And that kind of stress messes your ish up. And a lot of things can cause low stomach acid production. Eating when you're really stressed out, just being stressed in general, stress in general, just like poo-poos on your entire system. It makes your like gut Swiss cheese. It's the worst. And you know, I have some like habits that are less than ideal sometimes. Like when I'm really stressed out, I tend to not eat enough. Like I just live off bulletproof coffee. I don't know why. And I know that's not the best thing, but during the move, I remember in the summer before my book tour, I was just working all the time and unpacking boxes. And I was just like, it'd be like 3 o'clock and all I had was bulletproof coffee. And like bulletproof coffee is great, but you can't live off bulletproof coffee. You need like nutrients. So anyway, that's kind of what's happening up in the Castaway Kitchen with the health and wellness. And it's kind of cool because I feel like what's up, Bruce? I feel like I'm writing the next chapter of my healing, like the next stage. And I can't wait to share this in my next book, because the autoimmune protocol and paleo and keto got me like 60-pound weight loss, awesome muscles, healed my gut. I definitely healed my liver. I mean, I had some major liver dysfunction going on, which isn't anymore. And now I get to treat this gut dysbiosis, which was this underlying symptom that I hadn't discovered before. It's also a good testament to how important diet is, because if I had been eating tons of sugar and like crap and refined carbohydrates, I guarantee you my dysbiosis would have been so severe. But I wasn't displaying any symptoms of small intestine bacterial overgrowth. That's what SIBO stands for. SIBO is small intestine bacterial overgrowth, and it's a dysbiosis, which means that there's an imbalance of good and bad bacteria. It's dominant bad bacteria in your gut, in your small intestine, which is what I have going on. However, I don't display the common symptoms of the bloating and the gassiness and like digestive issues. I'm super regular, but that's because of my diet and lifestyle. So I asked Dr. Becky Campbell, and I was like, do I have to change my diet? Do I have to do like a low FODMAP, which honestly would kill me because I love onions and cruciferous vegetables. And she said, no. She said, your diet's great. Don't worry. She's like, make sure you do carb ups, because you need to feed that bacteria that you're implanting. And I told her I already do them after my workout. So she said, that's fine. So the path now forward is to heal my thyroid imbalance, is to treat the dysbiosis via hydrochloric acid, diet supplements, a lot of antimicrobial, antibacterial, herbal-based supplements, super high doses of probiotics of specific strains, and of course, keeping my diet super squeaky clean per usual. And I'm excited. Like I said, I will write a blog post about this. I did like a Instagram stories poll, and like most people said to do a blog post, but talking about this takes 20 minutes. Writing a blog post about this would be like all day, but I will. I'm going to get to it when my new blog, comes up. But I feel great. I'm finishing up my 12-week sculpting program from Michelle at No Fail Physique. And I know I've gained muscle, because I've gained like 12 pounds of muscle, but I'm not bigger, like, which is interesting, because I saw the scale going up, and it doesn't like bother me anymore, because like, it's just a number. But I was like, well, my clothes still fits. And so I pulled out my jeans from like the summer, and I was like, those still fit. So whatever, it must be muscle. And I've got definition. But I'm not burning fat, which, as someone who's in ketosis, like I am actively in ketosis most of the time, it just metabolically, it makes sense. That's the normal path that you would be burning fat for fuel. Like it's 1:35. I am still fasted. I worked out for an hour. And when you're just like, I'm doing all the right things, but it's not working. And I know a lot of you have that feeling sometimes. Well, that's where I was, right? I'm doing all the right things. The answer isn't to fast longer, eat less, work out harder, starve yourself, put your body into stress. And the big message from all of this, and I was talking to my husband last night about it, is that in conventional wisdom, in conventional diet world, if a woman has a weight loss stall, that's it. Those are the answers. Eat less, move more, right? It's your fault. You're doing something wrong. And like, it took me a long time to like reprogram my brain to be like, no, because even before I had the results of all my lab work, which showed what was happening under the hood, which explained this weight loss stall and explained my frustrations, I knew that the answer wasn't to put my body under more stress. And considering what the issues were, the thyroid imbalance, that would have just exasperated the issue. And considering that the stress that was causing my thyroid imbalance was an internal problem. This wasn't external factors. This wasn't like my job stressing me out or my kids stressing me out or my workouts were too hard. I mean, all those things sometimes cause stress in the body, but those are like normal stressors we should be able to handle, right? Like a healthy, normal person. But I have this internal dysbiosis in my gut that is stressing out the adrenals and my thyroid, the endocrine system. And then of course the hormones are all wackadoodle because of it. However, due to my diet, like my diet and my lifestyle were like this awesome crutch for my system that wasn't optimal yet. Because I feel great, except for the stall. I'm like, I feel awesome. So my diet kept my sex hormones in balance. My cycle's still super regular. My digestion is regular. And I feel like I'm doing everything right. And essentially I am. This was just a pre-existing condition that I would have had no idea was happening had I not done the functional evaluation with the nutritional therapist, had I not seen Dr. Becky Campbell. Oh, hold on. My screen went away. And anyways, so that's what's happening with me. I will report back in about 60 to 90 days. Once I've been doing this protocol. We're just, like I said, we're doing strictly supplement-based protocol. My diet will remain the same. And sort of a plug, not really, super exciting that the nutritional therapy, functional evaluation and initial consultation, even just with students, was so spot on with what was happening in my body without like, aside from me getting lab work from medical doctors, because it really shows how powerful nutritional therapy is and how awesome the assessment tools are. And if you're someone that you're like, well, my doctor sucks, or I can't afford a functional medicine doctor, or my doctor doesn't understand this stuff, nutritional therapists are way more affordable than doctors. And like, if you don't have insurance, or then paying out of pocket for a functional medicine doctor. And there's lots of practicing nutritional therapists. I'm sure you can find them through the NTA website, Nutritional Therapy Association. And I know a bunch that practice online, but if you want to do the functional evaluation, which is I think where this like really awesome diagnosing tool is, it's just amazing. Plus they can also then test the right supplements for you. Like I'm telling you guys, this is what I'm going to do. I have my whole supplement regime, but like, this isn't for you to say, well, I have that, so I'm going to go buy these supplements on Amazon. Like, no, you need to work with a professional, because you can really jack your system up if you take these strong supplements without having like proper, like direction. So yeah, nutritional therapists are a great way to go. I can't wait to graduate from the program. It's going to be like another 6 months, but I'm super stoked about this. I already got my massage table and everything to like see people. But yeah, it's been really exciting. It's been really exciting to figure this out, this last piece of my health puzzle, I think, and with the help of my nutritional therapist, with the help of Dr. Becky Campbell. And also remember, if you're that person that you're doing everything right, you've got your eating dialed in, you got your workout dialed in, you are sleeping, you're feeling good, but you're just stuck in like health or weight loss progress, I know and I feel you. And the answer isn't more restriction. The answer is there's probably something going on. Oh my gosh, my husband keeps calling me. Hold on. Babe, I'm doing a YouTube live. Can I call you back? Thanks. Bye. And the problem, it can be something as crazy as dysbiosis or a thyroid dysfunction. And unfortunately, these things are hard to suss out unless you work with a professional. So yeah, for those of you just tuning in, I'm going to sign off now, but you can rewind. In short, weight loss health stall connected to thyroid dysfunction, connected to small intestine bacterial overgrowth, lead back to still feeling good on top, even though all that's happening, which means my diet and lifestyle is working. But now I'm going to implement a really crazy supplement regime to target my dysbiosis. And I'm really excited for the next, I'm like, if I feel good now, imagine in 3 months, I'm going to be like freaking superhuman, right? That's the goal. Like Dave Asprey, like bulletproof guy, become superhuman. We're going to do it. All right. Thanks for listening, guys. Hope you have a super good day. And remember, this video does not go away, so you can rewatch whenever you want. Bye.